at the big presser at the Mavericks headquarters. My question right off the bat, we got some audio to listen to. I think every station in town was either broadcasting, like even the TV station, Channel 8 was broadcasting. Nui was out there. What's up, Nui? New dog from Channel 5. Everybody was there that covers the basketball part of the thing with the Mavericks. And I wanted to ask you, and we're going to run some tape here, what was something you think you learned that you did not know about any of those three guys, or even Michael Finley, who was up there introducing everybody?
Yeah, at first I thought it was cool that they let Finley go up there because Nico is usually the one that's doing that. So kind of feels similar to obviously giving the reins to Dudley for the Summer League. It's like, hey, not saying Finley's never done a press conference before, but like, hey, this is a big sign. There's going to be a lot of media here. You be the front-facing voice for the organization. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, obviously, by the way, that front office, it's Nico, Michael Finley, Andrew Baker, and Matt. They're all getting the stuff done. They're just getting it all done.
They did a really good job. I will say that I personally didn't know a lot about Naji's personality. I knew about his game on the court, so I didn't know what he was as a person. So this is my first time getting to hear him talk for an extended period of time. So it was really cool just kind of hearing kind of his upbringing, kind of his grit and determination. So I thought he felt like someone that what he was saying, you believed he was going to translate to the court. If it just matched the energy that I expected in my head. Q-Dot was a little quieter than I thought. It was a little quieter. And then Klay, very well spoken, very elaborative, and kind of expressive in his thoughts.
Yeah, I think he's very thoughtful.
Very thoughtful. It reminds me of Kyrie's more soft spoken, but Kyrie in the same lane of, yeah, this is why I'm doing this, and I'm at peace right now, and I'm gonna try to it's just about winning basketball. And I said that before the press conference started to someone. So I feel like Klay's on the same path, an older guy that's trying to win a championship, has won before, trying to be that next step, trying to be that push over the edge. So I thought just kind of hearing Klay be open and honest. I didn't know if we were going to get open and honest, or if we were going to get PR like, oh no, everything's fine. I didn't feel in a certain type of way. He was pretty honest about how he felt in Golden State and how he didn't have the joy of the game, and kind of, so I appreciated that, and I learned that about him, that he's very, very, a little bit more open than I thought he was going to be.
I know one thing. The whole atmosphere in that press conference, I thought was so open, and these guys were like glad to be there. It wasn't like some press conferences. Now, I'm not talking about just Mavericks. I'm talking about any press conference I've been to where you're meeting the new guys on the team. Sometimes it's not even tense. It's about, well, let's just get this over with. Sometimes it's like we just want to do the media part and get it over with.
Like a transaction.
Yeah, transaction, or I got things I got to do later, and we're going to hit quick questions. All right, guys, get out of here. Yeah. This thing lasted like 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Alec, did you get a chance to listen to it live here on 105.3 The Fan?
I did, because I told Lo, and it was a good time. I was very impressed, like Blake was saying. Klay, he definitely gives me Kyrie Irving vibes, where he just feels like the old man in the ball clubhouse now, where you're just like, okay, anytime he's going to pop a mic, you got to listen. And I was telling Blake before you got here, CA, that I feel like Naji Marshall, that's a guy that he's done with the talk. Just get me a basketball in my hands, put me on the floor. Let's get to business. Like, he didn't sound angry, but like he has a grit to his voice that he just sounds like, all right, why am I talking? I can just show you all these things.
You know what? He's another PJ Washington. He's standing on business. He's an enforcer, but he can shoot. He really can shoot. He's got a very accurate shot. I think he shot just under 40% from three. And he shot that with more people in his face. It wasn't like he was wide open threes. So you're gonna see some of that on the court. One of the things I picked up, Klay, he was talking about how he's glad to be here, and he didn't want to be with the Lakers, and he had to go say goodbye to the Golden State Warriors. He's all excited about what his new opportunity is right here, and he talked about all the different reasons why. We're going to get some of that audio. But one of the things he did mention, he talked about the things he liked about Dallas, was looking forward to. He said the barbecue. He said, at my age, though, I can't be eating as much as I want to. Got to watch that. But he also mentioned he looked forward to going to some Cowboys games and some Rangers games, and he mentioned that his brother played with, or at least knew, some of the guys who are currently with the Rangers from like the Dodgers days. And the first thing I thought of was Seager. So but I'm just assuming that it's definitely Corey Seager, because Clayton Kershaw a little bit too old for his brother.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I've seen Klay Thompson in a Cowboys jersey before.
It's very possible.
I could be completely wrong and thinking of a totally different person, but I feel like I've seen that before.
You have.
Yeah, I have.
It came back up today. on Twitter.
Okay. So he has worn it before. I think it'll be really, when you see the guys ingratiating themselves in the culture of the city, that's obviously what's going to get the fans behind you. And that stuff plays hand in hand.
Ironically, he may not be the biggest Cowboys fan on the roster. You know Luka's a Cowboys fan, right? He shows up at the games. Him and Dirk will go to Cowboy games all the time.
Yep.
Who do you think is the biggest, though, since childhood? And by the way, Luka came over here saying all he knew about the Dallas was the Cowboys when he came over here from Europe. So who do you think is the – in fact, I'll give you a hint.
Alex Fudge.
No, come on. He's a guy that barely plays.
Facundo Campazzo.
No.
Is he on the Mavs?
He's one of the most influential guys in that locker room.
Markieff Morris.
Markieff Morris. He's so much of a Cowboys fan. Do you know what his number is? 88. I swear to God. 88 because of Michael Irvin, Dez Bryant, Drew Pearson, and now C.D. Lamb.
Okay, I didn't know that about him. I didn't know he was a big Cowboys fan.
Oh, yeah. And so as they fill out the roster, and I think I would be shocked if Markieff is not the last guy that they sign because
he seems pretty confident on Twitter.
Yeah, he says he's coming back.
He said, I'm coming back.
It's just yet to be seen. We'll let it play out. But again, I think this whole environment is like, it's a new day. Because once upon a time, the Mavericks could not lure free agents to Dallas.
Yep.
They come close, and as Donnie Nelson used to put it, we're going to keep the powder dry. And like, oh, hell, not again. But right now, Nico gets it done. Finn gets it done. Andrew, Matt, all those guys in the front office, props to them for getting it done. And also the environment, the culture. Kyrie especially, because Kyrie was also a guy that was texting Klay, and he's been knowing Klay forever. In fact, how about cut number 7, Klay talking about his relationship with Kyrie.
Kyrie and I are good friends. I mean, we came to the league together in 2011. We played on Team USA together twice. Obviously, played against each other in the highest stages for many years, and I've always been a fan of Kai's game, and guarding him was hell, so it's nice to be on the other end of that for once and see other defenders get loose and get shook by him. That's going to be a good sight to see. And then part 2, at this point in my career, I mean, still can't leave me open, and I can guard, and I'm just excited. I still think I can do what I've been able to do, and it's just about being in the best shape I can possibly be. But I know I can help this team, whether it's the knowledge I've gained or big scoring nights. I just still know I can be a very, very good player in this league.
He solves a lot of their problems offensively, which is also going to help their defense.
Let's read between the lines a little bit, CA. He definitely has heard the criticism that maybe he's not the player he once used to be.
That's the chip on the shoulder.
Obviously, didn't have the greatest end to his career in Golden State with his shooting performance. He talked about it today. 0 points, 24 minutes or something like that. Or lost by 24, excuse me.
And looked around because he knew it could possibly be the last time he was there.
And he's like, he goes, I can still shoot now. Don't forget I'm like top 5 percentage in 3-pointers. I can still defend. Don't forget I was an all-world defender. Now, he might not be Jaylen Brown, Kawhi Leonard sitting in a chair, but he's not a cone out there.
No.
And I've been on this radio station giving it slack, like, hey, I don't know he's going to be on defense. I know he's going to be an all-right defender. How good is he going to be? But I like the confidence of like, hey, even though he's not taking it directly from anything I said or Alec or you, but he hears the overall conversation of a little bit of doubt, and he's like, just wait. I still got it in me. So I enjoyed that confidence, him oozing that out.
It was like the Michael Jordan meme. And I took that personally.
Yep.
It's just that simple.
And you need to have a chip on your shoulder.
He's so competitive, and at the same time, he solves a lot of their problems because nobody's gonna leave him wide open. That's crazy if you do. That means he's gonna spread the floor, which means Lob City, Lively, Daniel Gafford. I mean, both of those guys, they're gonna eat.
And fun fact, this is getting a little basketball nerd, so I'll swerve off of this quickly, but Klay Thompson has had some of his best numbers with a rolling big man. He talked about Trace Jackson Davis, how well he played with him out there and just kind of the space that creates. Because Klay's a guy that can call a screen and run the pick and roll himself as well. He's not obviously going to put 7 dribble moves and drive by you and dunk on you now, but he can still get a jumper, a 3-pointer, or pass the ball. And Trace Jackson Davis, love him, ascending young guy, but Derek Lively and Gafford,
come on.
that kind of rolling big man, top two in the league in field goal percentage around the rim. So I think you're going to see a really rejuvenized Klay, and he talked about it. He's ready to rejuvenize his career and kind of show people that he's not done.
Exactly, and he's going to be playing with Kai and Luka, which is also going – I mean, you cannot guard all 3. You just cannot do that and leave those other 2 guys leave the other two guys open, whether it's P.J. Washington, whether it's Naji, whether it's even
Lively now.
That's what I'm saying, Lively. It's like, man, pick your poison.
P.J. Washington, I'm going to say it here now, he might have the most open threes we've ever seen in NBA history.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to guard Luka and Kyrie. We know that. We already know what that's about. And now that extra help, that little bit of help you still got left on the defense, it's going to be shaded towards Klay now.
Here's what's so wild. This team has only been together since March. Since the end of February, they've only been together. Imagine them all together in training camp with Klay Thompson, who already has a high basketball IQ, who already knows things that, I mean, he's forgotten things they've never even thought of. So just imagine, Alec, can you imagine? I mean, the upside is tremendous. And again, you got to pump the brakes a little bit because guess what? The West is even better. Certain teams are even better. For those who don't know, Naji in New Orleans was known as the SGA stopper. For those who are working about Oklahoma City and Shea, come on now. You even got somebody just for him.
Yeah, and I think it's, for me, ever since really the first deal when the Quentin Grimes thing went down, it was the Dallas Mavericks got better today. That was the mentality I tried to take from day one whenever free agency opened up and they started making these deals was the Mavericks are getting better with each move. And you don't have to put any kind of superlative on it. You don't have to say it was an A-plus free agency period offseason for the Mavericks or anything. They got better. You know, Naji Marshall is going to end up being a better version of Derrick Jones Jr. that plays a little bit different, but he's going to end up being an overall better defender.
Speaking of defenders, all three of these guys were asked, how much do you identify with the defense and hope to implement that to the winning culture here?
Well, I say playing against these two, I mean,
that's Klay.
That's why they're here. Not because it's pretty, because they lock up, they're willing to do the dirty work, and I've got against both them, so we're gonna have some battles in practice. I'm excited about that.
Definitely. That's kind of my MO, toughness, defense. So one of the things I bring to the game, and something I love to do. So like you said, you know, that's kind of what they used to get where they got this year, and I'm just here to pick up whatever slack they lost or just add to.
Yeah, same thing, just reiterate what they said, just coming in. That was kind of my calling card coming in from Houston. Playing for Coach Sampson, kind of, you can't play defense, you're not going to be on the floor. So playing for Tibbs as well, too. If you don't play defense and scrap and fight for every 50-50 ball, you're not going to go on the court. So that's what I try to do from day one, and I'm going to still do it till I can't play the game anymore, really.
That's Q-Dot talking about playing for the Knicks back before he got traded to Detroit. Thibodeau. And by the way, all those guys are dogs.
Yep.
I love it when guys don't talk about their touches. If I get my touches, none of them talk like that. That's not going to happen like that. And another props to Alec. I don't know if you knew this or not, but your boy Blake Elliott asked that question.
Oh, whoa.
Come on.
He's the one that who teed that up over there and asked that question. Those guys are all looking forward to being in this organization and filling their role out. And so, again, I love the whole press conference itself. Anything else about that press conference?
I was gonna say I like how Q-Dot ended that. He talked about college, he talked about Coach Sampson, talked about grit and why he's on the court. Like that wasn't asked.
Coach Sampson, by the way, is University of Houston's coach, Kelvin Sampson.
Yep, and
he
was not asked what did you learn in college. The fact that he pulled that back and that still sticks in his mind tells me that he's a guy of grit, determination that's gonna kind of dig deep. So I really appreciated that as a basketball player.